Obviously, the news here is that the Broncos are going into the AFC Championship game with Jarrett Stidham. There's been so much buy-in from Broncos Country on
Yeah.
Jarrett Stidham, being a football guy, being a national guy. Do you have buy-in on Jarrett Stidham, and how do you view him going into the AFC Championship game?
I feel like I've known Stiddy, as he's now called,
Yeah.
evidently by Sean Payton. Stiddy. I've known Stiddy since he came out of Stephenville High School in Texas. I was doing Big 12 games back in the mid 2015, 2016. He was coming out of high school. He was the number one high school prospect in the country. Went to Baylor. Art Briles was the head coach there. Things got crazy with Art at Baylor. He transferred, and then Patriots draft him, all that stuff. I went back and watched his game. I remember his game against San Francisco when he was with the Raiders, and then that led Sean Payton to sign him that game where he threw 3 touchdowns, the number one defense in football. Everybody on that defense in San Francisco, from Fred Warner to Nick Bosa to, there's stars everywhere. Eric Armstead, there were stars everywhere. He carved them up that day, and and then obviously Russell Wilson gets benched and Stiddy is the quarterback. I believe they've got a lot of confidence in him. It's just that it's the AFC Championship game. They're going against a great defense, maybe the best secondary in football. And so it's going to be any way you look at it, it's going to be a challenge.
I'm curious, just knowing that you're in the circles you're in, what were those conversations like about Jarrett Stidham? He's the big topic of conversation in the NFL this week. Do you think the consensus is he's got a shot to go and make this happen, or are people thinking it might be over for the Broncos?
No, well, it'd be good to know if any of these receivers are healthy. Pat Bryant went out, Troy Franklin. They're going to get JK Dobbins back. That's good news. He's going to play. He's back at practice, so the running game should be better. Typically when this happens, like I was in Philly when Nick Foles took over, and just brief history. He gets hurt against the Rams. He's an MVP candidate in 2016. And, Nick Foles takes over. And I'll be honest, his first game, he was terrible. Like, he was against the Raiders on Christmas Day. And then the next week, they played the Cowboys to finish the season, and he was awful. And, I talked to people that day because I announced that Cowboy game against the Eagles. And they were literally nervous. They had no idea what to have. They beat the Falcons the first playoff game at home, and he was okay. If Matt Ryan hits Julio Jones in the end zone at the end of the game, they don't even make it to the next round. And then he was very good against Minnesota, and he was the MVP of the Super Bowl. So nobody knows what Stiddy's going to be like. Mm-hmm. But I give him a real good chance because I do think he knows how to play the game. He's been coached by Josh. He's been coached by Sean. Josh McDaniels, that is. Like, he's been coached well, and he was a top flight prospect. So it's a big stage. Spotlight's on him. Nick Foles stepped up, and he chimed in this week about Stiddy. So I can't wait to watch him play. Honestly, I'm just a fan at this point. I just can't wait to watch him compete. I think he'll play better than C.J. Stroud. I don't think he'll do it either.
Yes.
Baldy, how do you expect Sean to approach this game plan with Stiddy?
Good question. Like, I don't think you can overload him. I think Sean knows like what he's capable of doing, what he can handle. I was sitting in a meeting today with Brian Billick, and we're just going through signals, right? You just forget how detailed this stuff gets. Like how many different cadences you have, snap counts, like all these things that you kind of got to know, even though you haven't played. And so, like, I think that part of it, I think he can handle. But the game plan, like with Dobbins back, and we'll see what kind of shape he's in and how good he is. But I think they're going to get their starting offensive line back. I think they get their starting center back this week. They should be better up front. Like maybe we should find out if Milton Williams at 285 pounds can handle the run game. Put him on Quinn Miners and see what he can do. Like maybe you should start off by just kind of pounding it, screens, just the hitches, some of the simple stuff just to get easy completions. Sorry about that, guys. I'm in a hotel room. So I just think, start off pretty simple and basic before they start to try to get too complex with it.
When you mentioned JK Dobbins potentially being back, how big of a boost would that be for the Broncos offense in this game?
Well, I think it could be huge. I mean, first of all, he'll probably have the freshest legs of anybody on the field. And for a running back, that's gold.
Him and
It's
Stiddy.
just to feel good, to feel like you can just, I don't know what the heck is going on here, guys. I'm sorry.
You're all right.
No, this is crazy. I don't know.
I imagine you have a cat just opening a
maybe it means
shade or something.
I don't know. Maybe it's Jarrett Stidham here. Like, I don't know.
It's a sign.
I don't know what to say. But, I mean, I think, I would imagine the injury history that JK has had, and he's, God damn. Sorry, guys.
It's funny.
No problem.
That's stupid. But
A walk and talk with Baldy.
got to adjust, man. This is like an audible, guys.
Yeah, this
You
is
gotta throw
like
an
your starting quarterback goes out and you got to put a backup in right now.
You got an audible there. Yeah, everything's different. So, but just knowing that, like I feel like I've known JK since he came out of LaGrange, Texas. Like I know Texas. It's a one stoplight town. Like this kid went to Columbus. Like he loves the game of football, and so to get in a playoff game like this and to maybe get his number called, like he's going to be amped up. He can be amped. I have a feeling he could play real well.
So the Patriots offense, last week 5 sacks for Drake May. I think it was 5 sacks the week before. He's fumbled 6 times. I'm curious, is this an offensive line problem for the Patriots that's causing some of this pressure? Is that something that the Broncos could exploit?
Yeah, I mean, Will Campbell, I love Will Campbell. But Will Campbell doesn't want that tape being seen by anybody. Will Anderson ate him up. 2 sack fumbles against him. Now, what are the Patriots thinking? Like they're just giving him that short edge against that player. Are they going to do that to Nick Bonito? Because Nick can do the same thing, the exact same thing with his takeoff. Now, I'm concerned about Cooper because I haven't seen anything from him, honestly, the last 9 or 10 weeks. And he's been invisible. And I think they know it. His snap count's going down. So, maybe Tillman, who knows, like who steps up. But, I would think that, they need to get that rush going the way Houston just did and the way the Chargers did. Ode Odafe has never had 3 sacks in a game in his life. There's been years he haven't had 3 sacks the whole year. And he got 3 sacks, against the Patriots. So, if I'm Nick and I'm that group up front, John Franklin and Zach, I'm like I'm thinking, all right, Morgan Moses, I'm not impressed by anybody up front. I'm getting after that quarterback. Now the quarterback can run. He can really run. He had the longest run of the season to set up a field goal against the Chargers. So you got to account for him as well.
What makes their run game challenging to stop? It feels like that's kind of been an engine for them this year.
Jack Westover's a fullback. They're committed to it. Travion Henderson, you can look this up if you got stat people over there, because I was charting it. I think he's got either 5 or 6 runs of 50 yards or more. Like the same thing he did at Ohio State. All right, he is a home run hitter. Now, Ramondre is just a big back. He's hard to tackle. He's 230 pounds. He catches the ball good. Like it's a good 1-2 punch. And they're one guy's real big and one guy is just explosive as hell. And so they use a fullback, tight ends. They do a lot of things that Belichick did in the run game. It could be angle blocking. It could be fold blocking. You're going to see some different, no matter what they showed last week, you're going to see either different formations or different ways to attack the defensive line. The Broncos are in a lot of reduced fronts, 5-man front, if you count Cooper and Bonito as a lineman. And so there's fewer lanes to run through, but there's also, all right, outside of Hufanga back there, coming down and blowing people up. Like there's room to run if you get by that first level.
Baldy, the Broncos win the AFC Championship game if?
2 things. One, if Stidham does a decent job of taking care of the football. I think they're good enough to overcome 1 turnover, but if it starts getting to 2 or 3, I don't think they can win. Now, that's obvious. Those are the obvious things. But I do think that I don't think you can ask Jarrett Stidham to go win the game for you. Like, they're going to need performances, from different guys. Whether it's the running backs, whether it's some of the receivers stepping up, or whether it's the defense, scoring. And so, or taking the ball away. I don't think that it'd be fair. And maybe Stidham plays out of his mind, but I don't think anybody should be expecting Jarrett Stidham to go out and throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Like I don't see anything like that happening.
Baldy, final one for you. What are the chances you give the Broncos to win this game with the circumstances that they've got?
I give them a chance. You know, look, both teams have benefited by a pretty soft schedule all year. Like and so I think the Patriots had the softest, but the Broncos had. So, they've been tested enough. Like that's a good Texan team that, they basically shut down. They're a very good defense. I think they're the 4th ranked defense in football. Everybody that they brought in, everybody, whether it's Spillane, Milton Williams, Harold Landry, like every guy they brought in has flourished. And then if you look at Marcus Jones and Carlton Davis, who had monster games, and Christian Gonzalez, that's as good as any secondary in football. And then you look at Craig Woodson, the rookie. Like, they're a very, very good defense. And you've got to execute really well against that team to move the ball and to finish. And so it's going to take a great deal of execution. But I give the Broncos, I think they're underdogs, right? Aren't they like
5.5?
5? Is it 5? Like, I give them a 50-50 chance to win this game with the backup quarterback.
All right, let's go. Let's go, Baldy. We absolutely love it. And we hope to be talking to you next week about the Broncos' trip to the Super Bowl. That would be awesome.
You bet, guys. I'd love to do the same thing. Honestly, man, I'd love to be talking about Jarrett Stidham in a Super Bowl game next week. That'd be a storyline that nobody had 2 weeks ago.
That is for sure. The best, Brian Baldinger. Thanks, Baldy. Enjoy this weekend.
Okay, guys.
Man, the legend Baldy, even, fought through some technical difficulties to be with us. Incredible stuff right there.